Hey YouTube, this is Shannon once again with another Excel tutorial, and today I'm going to be talking about loan calculations using Excel's formulas to figure out loan information, like your interest payments, your monthly payments, and your effective interest rate. In our example, I'm going to say that we're going to be buying a car for $25,500 at an interest rate at 7% for over the term of 72 months, or otherwise known as 6 years. So the first part that we want to kind of figure out, that we want to know, is our monthly payment. And this is a great way to kind of budget if you want, to get a brand new car or, a used car, because you'll probably get lower payments. So for finding out the monthly payment, we're going to use the PMT function. And the first part of this argument is going to be the interest rate, or the rate in the Excel formula. So we're going to put 7. And it's essential that you put this in decimal form, otherwise it'll mess up your formula. And also that you divide your annual interest rate by 12, because you want to know what your monthly interest rate is in this Excel formula in order to calculate your monthly payment. The next part of this argument is going to be the length, or the term, of your loan to repay it back. In our example, it's going to be 72 months, or like I said, 6 years. The last part of this argument is going to be our principal amount, or otherwise known in Excel as the present value. And basically the present value is just saying, what is the value of that loan today? Well, today we know the value of our loan that we're going to be taking out is the $25,500. And then that is what our monthly payment is going to be over the course of 72 months. Now, usually with a monthly payment, a portion of it is going to go towards interest, and a portion of it is going to go towards the principal balance. The next part that you want to figure out is how much of that monthly payment is going towards interest and how much is going towards the principal amount. So the formula that we're going to use is the IPMT function. And there are 4 parts to this formula. The first part of this argument, again, is going to be the 7%. And yes, you're going to divide that by 12. Once again, because you want to figure out what your monthly interest payment is going to be. The next part of this formula is going to be which period are you trying to calculate, or what monthly payment are you trying to calculate. In our example, we want to know how much of our interest is going to go towards our first payment. So we're going to put a 1. We're going to put a 1. And then the next part is the length, or the amount of months that you're going to be paying for this term. So in our example, it's going to be the 72 months, or 6 years. And then the last part of this formula is going to be the principal amount. So we hit enter, and we see that is how much is going to go towards our interest for our first payment. Now, if you want to know how much is going to go towards your principal payment, you're just going to do that $434.75 and subtract it, and that's how much is going towards your principal amount. So for your first payment, you see how it's split out. Now let me show you how it's different with your last payment at the end of 6 years. So you're going to do your same formula, IPMT, and you're going to do, everything the same, your rate, but instead for the period that you want to figure out, you're going to do 72 instead of 1, and then you're going to do, 72 and then your principal amount. And that's going to be your last interest payment at the end of 6 years. And this is very, very essential. I did an amortization schedule for you guys, which is basically a table that shows you the periodic payments and how much of that payment goes toward interest, how much of it goes towards the principal amount, and it shows you the payoff term at the end of your term. So as we see at our first payment, that's going to be our first payment. That's going to be how much is going towards interest. That's how much is going to be going towards this principal amount. And after our first payment, that's going to be what's left on our balance. And, a lot of people don't understand interest, but I believe this, at least this part of an equation, is very essential when you're trying to figure out if you do want to buy a car or not. And then as you can see, that's going to be our last interest payment at the end of 72 months or at 6 years. Now let me show you something very, very important, you guys, because people think that the purchase price when you're buying a car is just that 25.5, but they forget interest. And as we can see at our last payment, most of that is going to be going towards the principal balance. But check this out, you guys. You're going to be paying about $55,800 worth just in interest. That $25,500 that you took out for that car is now in total $31,300. That's going to be the total that you paid after 6 years because of interest. So, a lot of young people don't understand that. They just see the purchase price and they're like, hey, I got a new car and things of that nature. But that interest, it can kill you. It can hurt your bank account. So yeah, play around. And if you want to know how to do an amortization schedule, you guys just let me know and I'll show you a tutorial on amortization schedules. And the last part that I wanted to show you all is the effective interest rate. The effective interest rate is going to be the actual interest that you pay on this car loan. So people have their annual percentage rates and all of that, but it doesn't show you the actual amount of interest that you're going to be paying. So for this formula, it's going to be RATE, or rate in other terms, and it's going to ask you the number of periods, which is going to be 72. It's going to ask you the monthly payment, which is the $434. Then it's going to ask you for the present value, and that's going to be the $25,500. And you're going to go ahead and hit enter, and you may want to make sure this may happen. That's because for your monthly payment you have to make it a negative. And as you can see, it gets very, very close to our regular payment. But there are some instances where your interest rate or your effective interest rate will be higher than your annual interest rate. And that's because of things of hidden fees and inflation and just a bunch of other things like that. But yeah, so I would definitely play around with these figures. If you know what your interest rate is now and you know what car you want and the purchase price and things of that nature, play around with all of these functions. It'll help you budget or at least estimate what your monthly payments are going to be when you are trying to get a new car. Or, if you want to know if you want to get a new car or a used car. You can also use this for calculating school loans and what your school payments are going to be. That way you can plan ahead in advance. And like I said, use these functions, to your advantage. People don't want you to know this information. People don't want you to understand interest rate and things of that nature. But this will definitely help you, especially with an amortization schedule. And like I said, guys, just let me know if you want me to show you how to do one of these. That way you can see at the end of your term how much you're actually going to be paying out. Like I said, at the end of the 72-year term, you sign the paper, a loan for $25,500, but you end up paying out $31,300. Again, hey guys, let me know if this tutorial helped you out in any way. Comment, like, subscribe. Let me know how I can help you guys with formulas like this. And thanks for watching, and happy Thanksgiving. This is Shannon signing off.